Alright pals, here's the deal. Got 300 bucks burning a hole in your pocket? We're breaking down the ultimate budget-friendly firepower. From trusty sidearms like the Smith & Wesson M9 Shield to the boom of the Mossberg Maverick 88. These guns prove you don't need to spend big to pack a punch. And stick around, because one of these bad boys might just be the best bang for your buck. Don't y'all think there's just something about picking up a Smith & Wesson M&P that feels like shaking hands with an old buddy? I'm not the only one? Okay, good. When I first snagged the Shield for myself, I was pumped to have a slimmer, concealable option for daily carry. The M&P Shield is a single stack pistol built for comfort and concealability. Slim profile, 8+1 capacity for 9mm, and a price tag that doesn't feel like highway robbery. What's not to like? At just $367 for the OG Shield, you can find it used for lower than that these days. This gun is a budget-friendly win for anyone new to concealed carry. Now, let's talk magazines. It comes with two. One's an 8-rounder with a grip extender, and the other's a 7-round flush mag. If you've got average-sized paws like me, the 8-rounder gives you that perfect combat grip for accuracy. The 7-round mag, well, unless you enjoy your pinky flying solo, you'll probably save it for backup. The trigger? It's got a bit of that squishy feel, and I'd recommend an Apex upgrade if you can swing it. Sights? Serviceable, but sharp-edged, so they dig into your gut if you carry an appendix like I do. Switch those out for something smoother. The Shield's lightweight design and ergonomic grip make it a dream for a concealed carry firearm. With a 9mm chamber, it's manageable and powerful enough. Just remember, small size equals fewer rounds, so carry a spare mag if you're used to higher capacity. For upgrades, the Shield's got plenty of aftermarket love, triggers, sights, mag extenders, you name it. Holster options are endless too, but keep in mind the Shield does not have rails for lights, so your pickings are slim there. Would I recommend the Shield for home defense? Well, yes, it works and it makes a great first pistol. While full size is best, it's great for concealed carry. The Shield is a reliable no-nonsense choice that punches way above its weight class. Now I'm about to take you on a straight shooting no-nonsense review of a handgun that packs a punch without sucker punching your wallet. Ruger's EC9s are compact little fellas that have everyday carry written all over it. For all you budget-conscious patriots out there, let's lock and load. If you don't know Ruger, well, where you been, partner? They're a top-tier American firearm manufacturer, cranking out everything from rifles to revolvers to pistols, and doing it with a kind of quality that puts stars in Old Glory. Ruger's always been about making reliable firearms for folks who work hard, love their freedom, and know the value of a dollar. Now enter the EC9s, a wallet-friendly, no-frills, get-the-job-done handgun designed for concealed carry enthusiasts who, like a gun that shoots straight, hits hard, and doesn't ask for too much in return. Think of the EC9s as the LC9's down-to-earth little sibling. Like Ruger said, let's keep what works, cut what doesn't, and make it even more affordable. What you get is a polymer-framed, striker-fired pistol that's slim, lightweight, and easy to carry. This baby comes with a single-stack 7-round magazine with a 10-round option if you like a little extra bang for your buck. But don't let the low price fool you. This thing isn't some knockoff pea shooter. It's a reliable, solid performer with just enough refinement to keep you smiling. This striker-fired bad boy uses a traditional recoil-operated system. Smooth, simple, and does the job without any drama. You pull the trigger, it goes bang. What else do you need? The polymer frame's got some texture in to keep things steady, and the 7-round mag has a little finger hook for extra control. Want more grip? Well, pop in the 10-round mag for a little extra heft and hand real estate. The sights are fixed and milled into the side. No adjustments, no replacements, just point and shoot. They're low profile, so they won't snag on your clothes, but they could use a dab of white paint or high-vis color to make them pop. Listen, folks, the Ruger EC9's like a trusty pickup truck. It's not flashy, but it gets the job done every time. For under 300 bucks, you're getting a reliable, easy-to-carry pistol that won't let you down. Sure, it's not perfect, but at this price, who's complaining? When I first heard about the PSA Dagger, I figured it was just another Glock wannabe, a budget-friendly option that probably wasn't worth the gas to the range. But then I saw the price. 300 bucks for a 9mm with Glock DNA? Well, that got my gears turning, so I did what any red-blooded, gun-loving American would do. I grabbed one, loaded up some ammo, and I hit the range to see if this bad boy was all bark or some serious bite. Here's the deal, the PSA Dagger is unapologetically a Glock clone, and that's not a bad thing. It borrows heavily from the Glock 19 and 17 platforms with a few upgrades to set it apart. Palmetto State Armory, PSA, isn't trying to reinvent the wheel here. They're just making it cheaper and, dare I say, a little more ergonomic. This striker-fired 9mm pistol weighs just over 22.5 ounces unloaded and measures a hair over 7 inches long. The slide and barrel are both stainless steel with a sexy black DLC coating that screams, I mean business. The polymer frame, it's got an improved grip angle that feels like it was custom molded for your palm. Plus, there's an extended beaver tail to keep your hand safe from slide bite. Gotta love that. So, for anyone who's ever fired a Glock and thought, man, this grip could use some work, the Dagger answers your prayers. Hallelujah. The trigger is another standout feature too. Flat-face design that's a departure from Glock's traditional curved triggers. Now, whether you like flat triggers is a personal thing, kind of like pineapple on pizza, but now I can tell you at least. But here's the thing about it. It's not bad, but it is different. There's a bit of resistance right before the break, followed by a slight delay. At first it caught me off guard, I'm not gonna lie, but after a couple of mags I did get used to it. Some folks might hate it, but for me it was like driving a new truck. You know, it just takes a minute to get the feel for it, but once you do, it is smooth sailing. Now let's address the elephant in the room. The Dagger costs $299. Compare that to a Glock 19, which runs you about $589 or more, and that's a $290 difference. Enough to buy a holster, extra mags, and a couple hundred rounds of ammo. See, the PSA Dagger is not here to dethrone the Glock 19. It's here to give budget-conscious shooters a reliable, feature-packed alternative, and it does that beautifully. If budget shotguns were falling out of trees, the Maverick 88 would be the one that lands right in your lap, smacks you in the face, leaves a bruise, but you'd still be glad you caught it. At less than 3 Benjamins, this little Texas scattergun makes a heck of a first impression. Cheap? Totally. Cheerful? Well, let's find out. The Maverick 88 is basically a Mossberg 500 that spent its childhood overseas and then came home to Texas to be assembled by some good old boys. It's 90% Mossberg, 10% we cut a few corners and save you cash. And let's be real, at under $300, corners will be cut. But for those of us who just want a bang stick that works, this shotgun has serious potential. See, the Maverick 88 rolls out of the box with all the pizzazz of a TV dinner. Functional, but not something you brag about. It's got a basic plastic stock, an 18.5-inch bead-sided barrel, and a blued finish that's more worn jeans than tuxedo, but hey, you know it's not all about looks, it's about bang for your buck. And the Mav delivers that in spades. You might ask, at the range, Uncle Buck, does it shoot? Well, it shoots all right, and it bucks like a mule on a caffeine binge. The lightweight design means it's easy to maneuver, but when you're firing full-power buckshot or slugs, you're going to feel every ounce of that recoil in your shoulder. The birdshot was smooth sailing, perfect for clays, pests, or just making noise. The buckshot packs a punch, but patterns high. At 25 yards, I was hitting almost a foot above my point of aim. Slugs? Well, good luck. With the bead sight mounted directly to the barrel, there's no way to adjust for elevation, so I had to aim at the base of the target to land a hit. The Maverick 88 ain't gonna win any rewards for style or finesse, but for under $300, it ain't trying to. This is a shotgun for the everyman. Cheap, reliable, and tough enough to handle whatever you throw at it. So would I trust it as my go-to home defense gun? Well, yes. It's got great potential for a first shotgun, but the next one is a better option in my opinion. And that is, well, the Mossberg 500. A shotgun so versatile, it could probably host Thanksgiving dinner, then carve the turkey and fend off any wild relatives who decided to overstay their welcome. This bad boy is the trusty duct tape of the shotgun world. Reliable, affordable, and you can fix just about any problem you throw at it. This gun ain't picky either. It's chambered for 3-inch shells, comes in 12 and 20 gauge, plus 410 for you nostalgic squirrel hunters, and has enough aftermarket parts to keep even the most obsessive DIYer entertained for years. Think of it as the ultimate platform for customization. Slap on a tactical stock, rifled slug barrel, or even a laser sight if you're feeling fancy. Whatever floats your boat. But real quick, let's take a walk down memory lane. Back in 1960, Mossberg threw all their chips on this shotgun design, and boy, did it pay off. It was built to compete with a Remington 870, and honestly, it's been holding its own ever since. Lightweight alloy receiver? Check. Slick pump action? Double check. Reliability that earned the trust of the military and the police? Triple check, baby. One neat feature that sets a Mossberg apart is its ambidextrous top-mounted safety. Whether you're a lefty or a righty, someone who just can't decide maybe, this switch definitely has your back. The early models only had one action bar connecting the slide and bolt, but after Remington's patent expired, Mossberg upgraded to dual action bars for smoother and more reliable operation. And get this, it weighs in at just 6.5 pounds. This thing is light as a feather, but it kicks like a mule. That's the trade-off. You get a gun that's easy to carry around all day, but whether you're in the duck blind or out in the woods stalking deer, you're gonna feel that recoil. And by feel, I mean that your shoulder is gonna be sending you thank you notes if you invest in a better recoil pad. Here's where the Mossberg 500 really shines though, versatility. This shotgun's like the Lego set of firearms. Want a tactical model for home defense? Done. Need a rifled slug barrel for deer season? Easy. Want interchangeable chokes for different bird species? You got it. The Mossberg 500 excels at being useful. Not the prettiest or fanciest shotgun on the market, but it gets the job done without breaking the bank. You can pick one up for $300 used and it's an absolute steal. You can spend thousands on a boutique shotgun, but why bother when the Mossberg 500 can handle 95% of what you'll ever need? Alright folks, buckle up, because old Buck's got some bones to pick with his shotgun resurrection story. We're talking about the Remington 870, not some knockoff, not a rebrand experiment, but a pump-action legend that's been holding the throne since the 50s. If you've hunted, shot clays, or kept a shotgun for home defense, odds are you've owned either an 870 or you know someone who swears by one. Let's get right into the meat and potatoes. How does it shoot? Well, the classic 870 Magnum throws tight, consistent patterns every time, no questions asked. But in some of those later production models, you might notice the quality slipping just a bit. Compared to the old Wingmasters, some newer models have looser tolerances, meaning your patterns might open up just a bit more than you like. And recoil? Yeah, let's talk about that. The 870 is built tough, but that means it's also got a bit of a kick, especially in those lighter synthetic stock versions. It's manageable, but if you're sending heavy loads downrange, you're gonna feel it in your shoulder. That said, the gun shoulders naturally, and if you got a good stance, it's nothing you can't handle. Now let's talk about the action. Still rock solid. The twin action slide bars are tough as nails, just like they've always been. Meaning you're not getting any of that janky flexing nonsense you'll see in lesser pump guns. As long as you don't treat this thing like a shovel, it's gonna cycle smooth for years. But let's talk about gripes. The bolt release button is still very clunky. Been a sore spot in the 870 since the dawn of time, and Remington never really bothered to fix it. And depending on which area your gun came from, the newer ones might feel a little rougher out of the box, but that's nothing a little TLC can't smooth out. So, is the 870 still worth your hard-earned cash? Well, absolutely, if you get the right one. The good news is, you can get a used expressed variant for under $300. The bottom line? The Remington 870 is still the king of pump-action shotguns. It might have seen some ups and downs over the years, but at the end of the day, it's still a go-to for anyone who wants a shotgun that just works. If you've been lugging around some clunky, affordable hunk of metal in the name of firearms excellence, let me introduce you to the Ruger 1022 Takedown, a rifle so versatile even your grandma would call it a game changer. Trust me, my grandma did not mince words. You take one look at this beauty and say, "Boy, that's stickier than a greased pig on ice." Let's dive in. First, a quick history lesson. Since 1964, Ruger has sold somewhere between 5 and 8 million of these bad boys. Little rifle ain't just a rimfire, it's the Swiss Army knife of firearms. Accurate, reliable, and portable. The takedown feature? Pure genius. It splits 2 halves faster than my high school girlfriend said, "It's not you, it's me." And just like her, it comes with a lot of baggage, except in this case, it's a good thing, because Ruger throws in a premium carrying case. The 1022 has a reputation as solid as bacon at breakfast. You feed it 22 LR ammo and it just delivers. The aftermarket for this gun is a candy store for firearm enthusiasts too. You want a red dot sight? Well, go ahead. Extended mags? Be my guest. It's the Mojo Dojo Casa House of guns. Customize it however you like. Ruger didn't just slap a barrel on and call it a day. This thing's a sharpshooter. Whether you're targeting paper, tin cans, or the one squirrel keeps stealing from your bird feeder. But who's it for? Short answer? Everyone. Long answer? Well, hikers, campers, boaters, preppers, apartment dwellers, and anyone who appreciates a compact, versatile firearm. If you've ever wanted a rifle that can go from the range to a backpack to the backwoods without breaking a sweat, the Ruger 1022 is your soulmate. Now, we're stepping into uncharted territory, or as I like to call it, the dark side. Yeah, I said it, the same Buck Tanner who can be poetic about John Browning's timeless 1911 over a campfire and a can of chili is here to give the Springfield XD its due. Now, don't get me wrong, my love for the 1911 hasn't waned. It's the Elvis Presley of handguns. Classic, smooth, and always a showstopper. But every now and then, a man's gotta embrace something new. Not just because his back's barking louder than his neighbor's yard dog after a day of heavy recoil. But I digress. Enter the Springfield XD9 Tactical. Now, sure, at first glance, you might mistake the XD for a Glock knockoff, and I know it's got the polymer frame and that funny little trigger flange safety, but comparing the XD to a Glock is like comparing a steak dinner to a frozen pizza. Both are gonna fill you up, but one has got a touch of class. Not the pizza. The XD borrows the best features from some legends. The grip angle of a 1911, the sturdy slide of a SIG, and the ghostly silhouette of a Browning high power. But let's get to the juicy stuff. How does it shoot? Well, partner, the XD9 Tactical is a joy to fire. With its 5-inch barrel and 5-pound trigger pull, it's accurate enough to make you look like you know what you're doing. Even at 25 yards, this baby is flatter than a Kansas cornfield, and the grip angle makes it point naturally, especially for us 1911 diehards. If you're looking for a polymer pistol with a bit of personality and a whole lot of performance, the XD9 Tactical might just be your huckleberry, and it can definitely be found under $300 used. Affordable and definitely serviceable. Alright, this time we're diving into one of the most fun, reliable, and downright wallet-friendly AR-style rimfire rifles on the market. The Smith & Wesson M&P 1522. Now, I've been around enough guns to know when something's worth its salt, and let me tell you here, this little beauty punches well above its weight class, without punching a hole in your budget. At under $300 used, this plinker is a steal, and trust me, I don't throw that around very lightly. But let's get into why. We've all been there, drooling over high-end SIGs or tactical ARs that cost an arm and a leg, only to realize we just want a fun, reliable plinker that doesn't make us cry every time we buy ammo. And that's exactly where the M&P 1522 comes in. This rifle gives you the full AR experience without the full AR price. Here's a kicker though. You're not sacrificing quality for affordability. Smith & Wesson pulled out all these stops to make this rifle a legit contender. It's lightweight, handles like a dream, and comes packed with features that'll have you grinning like a kid on Christmas morning. I'm telling you, this is hands down one of the best values out there. I compared it to the Colt M4 Ops and came to the same conclusion every time. The M&P 1522 wins. It's lighter, cheaper, and just as fun. Oh, and it's made in the good old USA. Gotta love that. Now we're talking about the Beretta APX Carry 9mm, a subcompact pistol so good it makes me wonder why it isn't a household name yet. If you're hunting for a dependable everyday carry under $300, well, saddle up, buckaroo, because this little firecracker might just be your new best friend. Let's start with the basics. The Beretta APX Carry is a pocket-sized dynamo measuring just 0.9 inches wide. Listen, that's slimmer than my Uncle Clyde's excuses for skipping family reunions. And at a feathery 19.8 ounces, this bad boy's lighter than a cowpoke's lunch after payday. Whether you're packing it inside your waistband, tossing it inside a pocket, or tucking it in your truck, you'll barely notice it's there until you need it, of course. Now, let's talk aesthetics. The APX Carry looks sharp, real sharp. The Beretta's signature slides, serrations that scream, just don't mess with me. Sure, they're more about style than function, a little slick if your hands are sweaty, but hey, not everything needs to work as hard as it looks. It's a bit like me in a tux, mostly for show, but still gets the job done. The grip shape is classic APX with a slight hump at the heel that feels natural in your hand, like a firm handshake from an old friend. Trustworthy and reliable. However, if you've got paws the size of mine, you might find it a bit small. Forget about swapping back straps, this grip is a one-size-fits-all deal. The sights on the APX Carry are top-notch too, with a blacked-out rear and a high-visibility front dot. They're perfectly proportioned for a gun this size, giving you just enough light to line up your shots quickly. And boy, this thing shoots straight. At 15 yards, it groups tighter than a herd of cattle in a thunderstorm. But let's not forget modularity. With its serialized internal chassis, you can swap out grip frames and slides to your heart's content. It's like getting a new gun without all the hassle of paperwork. Sure, the aftermarket options are still catching up, but the potential here is absolutely huge. So, listen folks, for under $300, the Beretta APX Carry ain't just a bargain, it is a downright steal. You're getting Beretta's legendary reliability, solid ergonomics, and impressive accuracy in a package that's slim, lightweight, and easy to carry. Sure, the trigger takes some getting used to, and the slide serrations could be grippier, but these are minor gripes for a gun that punches well above its weight class. If you're looking and getting into the world of pistols without selling a kidney for ammo, the Walther P22QD is a shining example of how you can still have fun and keep your wallet full. At just under $300, it's a little engine that could of pistols, even if it's more about plinking than tactical heroism. Now, I'm gonna be real with you, this isn't the type of gun you'd want to strap on for a hostage rescue operation or a high-speed chase, but for a fun day at the range or teaching the young ones how to handle a gun, the P22QD punches above its weight class. Let's dig in and see why. If you've had any past experiences with the first generation Walther P22, I get it. You probably had a couple of head-scratching moments where the gun just refused to cooperate. It was picky with ammo and had more quirks than a reality TV star, but fear not, my friends. The P22QD is here to save the day. Walther's taken the feedback, dusted off the old design, and made some key updates that make this little shooter more reliable than a cup of coffee on a Monday morning. If you got mitts like mine, you know how uncomfortable small pistols can be. The P22QD, however, feels like Walther made it just for you. I got some big hands, and this thing feels great. There's even a larger backstrap if you want to fine-tune the fit, but honestly, I didn't feel the need to mess with it. Walther's known for their sweet triggers, and the P22QD is no exception. I'm talking about a smooth, short, and crisp pull that makes you feel like a gunslinger straight out of a western. The double action pull is 11 pounds, and the single action is just 4. The P22QD comes with 2 10-round magazines, which is pretty standard, but they're designed with a finger rest for comfort. The magazine release is ambidextrous, so no matter how you hold it, you can drop the mag without thinking twice. Some folks don't like the paddle release, but I'm a fan. Quick and easy, just the way I like it. So here's the bottom line. If you're looking for a low-cost pistol to get into the game, whether it's your first handgun or a training tool for honing your skills, the Walther P22QD is one heck of a deal. I know what you're thinking, another pistol, right? Well, this one's different. I got my hands on the Ruger Security 380, and let me tell you, I was absolutely floored by this little beauty. At under $300, this thing's packing some serious punch. Don't let its compact size fool you, it's a pocket-sized powerhouse that'll have you grinning from ear to ear after the first shot. Well, let me break it down for you Buck Tanner style. We're in the era of 10-round magazines being the bare minimum. I don't care who you are. If you're carrying, you need to have enough rounds to back it up. The Ruger Security full-size model comes with a 15+1 capacity, which, if you ask me, is nothing short of revolutionary in the compact carry world. No more pulling a, oops, only got 6 rounds left when you need the most. And don't sweat it. Ruger tosses in a 10-round backup mag so you're ready for any situation, even if you're not packing a spare mag. But let's talk about ease of use. Because if you've ever tried to rack the slide on a compact pistol, you know it's often more try-fail sweat than quick, smooth, and easy. Enter Ruger's Light Rack system. With slide serrations, cocking ears, and a lightened recoil spring, this thing practically racks itself. I'm serious, you could rack this gun with a pinky finger if you were feeling extra fancy. The recoil spring's light enough to make shooting a breeze. Heck, it felt like I was shooting a 9mm, not a 380. And I don't know about you, but that's a pretty big win in my book. But let me hit you with a cold, hard truth. There are a lot of guns out there under $300 that leave you feeling like you just wasted your hard-earned cash. But the Ruger Security is a steal. You're getting reliability, comfort, and performance all in one sweet little package. It's accurate, easy to shoot, and it is packed with features that make it one of the best budget carry options on the market. At under $300, this pistol punches way above its weight. If you're in the market for a concealed carry pistol that won't break the bank but will sure as heck protect your hide, the Ruger Security should be at the top of your list. You'll wonder how you ever lived without it. Well, if it ain't the Rossi Brawler, coming in hot at just under $250. Now, before you get all suspicious and start thinking, there's no way this thing works without a spring in the barrel and a few screws missing. Let me tell you, I, Buck Tanner, have seen my fair share of cheap and goofy guns, but the Brawler? Well, it's as weird as a possum in a tuxedo, and I kinda love it. Let's be real here, cheap guns are like a good cup of coffee. Sometimes they're just there for the experience and not for setting any records, but if they work even half decently, well, you've got yourself a fun little investment. And this? The Rossi Brawler's like the gem at a bargain bin thrift store, except it's got way more firepower. Let's dig into this thing. So here's the deal. This bad boy is a single-shot handgun that'll fire both 45 Colt and 410 shells. Yet, you read that right, both. Like if your dog and your cat suddenly got along and decided to chase squirrels together. One gun, 2 calibers. We're talking about a 9-inch barrel that, depending on how much room you have in your pant pocket, might make you feel like you're carrying around a small cannon, but hey, we're here for it. You got rifling, a solid rubberized grip, and a rail on top so you can throw a scope on, or a laser if you're feeling a little bit fancy. But here's where this little gem pulls a fast one on you. Despite being an affordable firearm, Rossi threw in a feature you don't typically see on guns at this price range, an ejector. That's right. When you pop open the barrel, the spent shell shoots out of the gun like it's auditioning for a role in an action movie. Just make sure you don't accidentally point the business end of this gun at your face, because you might just end up catching a shell in the eye. Talk about a twist. Now, I know what you're thinking, Buck, does this thing actually work? Well, my friends, let me tell you, it does. It ain't no precision marksman rifle, but it's fun as all get out. Like your favorite toy car. Doesn't necessarily do what a real car does, but you'll be grinning like a kid when it zooms around the room. Alright, but what's the point of this oddball? This thing doesn't exactly scream self-defense tool, but I'll tell you this, it is perfect for a niche scenario. Let's say you live out in the boonies, surrounded by a bunch of angry snakes and feral hogs that have had way too many margaritas, and now they think your lawn is their new kingdom. Well, just for that, the Brawler's got your back. You can load up some 45 Colt to chase off larger critters, or pop in a 410 shell to get rid of those pesky little snakes. In fact, this gun's versatility makes it a decent yard gun. It's small, light, and doesn't take up much space. Toss it in a pack, forget about it until you need it, and boom, problem solved. It can even work as a hunting companion for small game. Think rabbits or squirrels getting the Brawler treatment when they least expect it. If you're out there scouring the gun racks for a rifle that'll do the job without emptying your bank account faster than a deer sprinting through the woods, well, let me introduce you to this little gem, the Savage Axis. Now, before you start rolling your eyes and mumbling about cheap rifles, let me tell you, this is one of the best bolt-action rifles under $300. And if that doesn't have your ears perked up, then maybe you're in the wrong conversation. But here's the skinny. Savage came out with the Axis XF as a way to offer a no-nonsense, budget-friendly hunting rifle that still packs a punch. Like the pickup truck of the rifle world. It doesn't look fancy, but it'll get the job done. The Axis is an evolution of the Savage 110 series, and it's got that signature Savage accuracy that'll make you wonder why you ever considered spending a ton of cash on something fancier. And here's the kicker. Even with all the cost-saving measures, the Axis XP delivers some seriously good accuracy. We're talking .75 to 1.25 inch groups at 100 yards, which is darn impressive for a rifle that's barely clearing the $300 mark. You won't find any fancy checkering or ergonomic grips here. The stock's a bit basic, and the grip might feel a tad long for some, but the rifle handles well enough for most hunters. It's no competition rifle, but it gets the job done. The bolt action is smooth as butter. Safety is easy to operate, though you might need to shift your hand a bit to hit it. The overall ergonomics make it easy to get on target. Plus, the butt pad's comfy enough that you won't feel like you're shooting a jackhammer on the shoulder after just a few rounds. It's no premium setup, but for the price, it's surprisingly comfy. If you're a beginner, a budget-conscious hunter, or just looking for a solid backup rifle, this is your gun. You can't go wrong with the Savage Axis XP. The deer won't care that you're not using a $1,000 rifle. What they will care about is that sweet, accurate shot that puts them in the freezer. Now we're talking about the Taurus 605, a no-nonsense 5-shot snub-nosed .357 Magnum revolver that's been quietly earning its spot as a go-to for concealed carry and home defense. The best part? It's one of the best guns you can get for under $300. Yes, you heard that right. Let's break it down. I know what you're thinking, but Buck, won't a snub-nosed revolver be a pain to shoot with all that recoil? Well, sit tight, partner. The 605 comes with rubber grips that absorb a lot of that kick, meaning it's got a bit of "don't worry, I got this" vibes, even when you're slinging heavy .357s. Sure, it'll give you a reminder that you're holding a Magnum, but it won't send your hand into the stratosphere. But let's talk about the most important part of any revolver, the trigger. Most budget-friendly guns make you pay in other ways, like a stiff, gritty trigger that makes you feel like you're trying to pull a stuck car door open. Not so with the Taurus 605. This thing's trigger is smooth as a greased weasel, both in double and single action. You'll be pulling it faster than a kid reaching for candy, and trust me, that makes a huge difference when you're on the range or facing down an intruder. But let's take a second to talk about construction. The 605 is made of stainless steel, which means it is tough as nails, but won't have you grunting when you pull it out of the holster. Coming in at just 24 ounces, it's light enough for daily carry, but still hefty enough to remind you you've got a serious firearm in your hand. But let's get down to the real meat and potatoes of the Taurus 605, the price. I have seen plenty of revolvers on the market that'll cost you a whole lot more than the 605, and honestly, for what you're getting, this is a steal. You can find the 605 for anywhere between $388 and $540 depending on the model and finish, but here's the kicker. If you're looking for a bare bones matte stainless version, the one I'm reviewing here, you're looking at a price tag around $300, under $300 if you catch it on sale or used. For the price of a high-end rifle scope, you can grab yourself a revolver that'll get you through the toughest situations, no questions asked. So don't let the price tag fool you. Taurus 605 is the budget revolver to beat, and it's the one you will want in your collection. Alright folks, gather around, because Buck Tanner's got a piece of pure hunting craftsmanship for you. I ain't talking about some old relic from your grandfather's collection. No, I'm talking about the CVA Scout Takedown, or TD. This thing is a compact break-action centerfire rifle. I know it sounds like a mouthful, but stick with me here, because this bad boy is the rifle you're going to want to get under $300, whether you find it on sale or used. First off, let me tell you, I've seen more rifles than I can care to count, and this one is the real deal. It got that solid, no-nonsense build that you need when you're out there in the wild putting meat on the table or just proving that you're the boss of the forest. The Scout TD Compact is chambered in the likes of 243, 300 BLK, and my personal favorite, 350 Legend. Oh, the 350 Legend. Mild recoil and big performance. It's got Whitetail's number, and I'm pretty sure a hog would be just as scared if it knew what was coming. This thing is built like a tank, but without the weight. The 20-inch stainless steel barrel is fluted, which means better heat dissipation in case you were wondering, and it's threaded for those of you who like to make your rifle even quieter with a suppressor. Throw on your favorite optics using the Durasight rail and you are locked and loaded for accuracy. And by the way, the barrel, it's as smooth as a greased pig on a rodeo. All thanks to the folks at Beretta, who make barrels for the CVA, so you know you're getting quality. So if you're on the hunt for something reliable, easy to carry, and won't have you crying to your wallet at checkout, the CVA Scout TD Compact is what you need. The rifle's got class, accuracy, and the kind of price tag that makes your hunting buddies look twice. These firearms prove you don't have to sacrifice quality for price. Whether you're a seasoned shooter or just starting out, they offer unbeatable affordability without compromising performance. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, and hit that little bell thingy. Or tell you what, do me a favor. Go and check out the next video on your right. Buck Tanner out.